It's helped us identify what is worth working for, what isn't worth working for, what is worth fighting about, what isn't worth fighting about. So as you kind of nail down your motto, if you will, it's really going to help you create that life that you really love as a couple and as a parent. Hey guys, my name is Kruti Kanogia. Some people call me Mrs. K. I am the co-founder and CEO of HealthyGamer, and I run the HealthyGamer Foundation as well. My life is completely immersed in all things mental health, some good, some bad, mostly really focusing on what's effective and what's applicable in modern day. I am married to a psychiatrist who is fairly well known for his approach to modern mental health. As we kind of go about our lives, we're approached by a lot of parents on how to do this or how to do that. What about screen time, etc. And really what I wanted to share with you guys today is how to navigate the world of parenting advice, really meaning how to find your own parenting style. Because I think it's very easy without knowing your own compass. You can't navigate the world of parenting advice, sleep training, gentle parenting, mindful parenting, all these approaches, they might have something to them, but if you don't have your own compass, it's really easy to get lost in all this stuff. And also, unfortunately, I think today a lot of parenting advice, it'll catch on and get really popular. And then 3, 5, 10 years later, we'll discover, oh, hey, it's actually traumatic to raise your kid that way, or actually this causes ADHD in kids, or this is why kids are so lonely, things like that. So today I really want to do 2 things. 1, help you find your own parenting style, and 2, really caution you against a lot of parenting advice, even ours, on what is and isn't applicable to you. The other thing that I want to caution you here is sometimes when parenting advice doesn't work or is debunked, we do a pendulum swing towards common sense, and that's when we get a lot of religious agendas or anti-vaxxers or what have you that are kind of whiplash responding to how and why some of that parenting advice didn't hold up. I think the general assumption of the world around you has to be most of the stuff out here isn't proven. Chances are it'll be disproven in the future under different circumstances, like virtual reality might change everything we're talking about today, or AI might change everything. So a lot of advice doesn't hold up as the world moves faster and faster. But if you have your central compass, I think it's going to be much easier to keep up and kind of wade through the world of information out there. So I want to put forth to you a couple of points on helping you find your parenting style that will help anchor you in the world of parenting advice. So the first thing here is I'm just going to share a little bit about how Alok and I have found kind of our parenting style. Okay, I'm not ready to share with you my nickname, but we have this thing called Alok and Nicknames Life of Fun. What we have done is basically say, out of all of the things in this world, the things that are most important to us is that we can have a life of fun, which means that we can have a life where we are driven by purpose, where we have autonomy in what it is that we do. And even if we're crazy busy, we can find joy in the small things. So this has led to helping us prioritize what we stress out about, what we don't stress out about. It's helped us identify what is worth working for, what isn't worth working for, what is worth fighting about, what isn't worth fighting about. So as you kind of nail down your motto, if you will, it's really going to help you create that life that you really love as a couple and as a parent. So the first thing is to define your values. So in a conversation with you and your partner or your co-parent or your spouse, you want to define what is it that we want out of this life. So this could be what you want to achieve, what you want to accomplish, who you want to be known as, how you want to be able to walk through life. It can be anchored in a religious or spiritual tradition. It can be anchored in your own family values. It can be a reaction to those things. I was raised as a devout Catholic, and so I want to make sure that we don't embrace some of those principles, or we do embrace those principles. However, you decide that you want to go through your life with those values, really center and anchor yourself in them. So for us, it's we want to do good in this world. We have a sense of service and a sense of obligation that we want to put forth more good in this world. So that's a big part of why we do what we do, not just professionally, but in our personal lives and in our lives as parents. The second part of our kind of core values is autonomy. Having the autonomy to do the things that we want to do, to have the freedom to make our own decisions, to have the opportunity to pursue the things that we want to pursue just because we decided it was the right thing, not because it was what people are telling us what is the right way to go about it. So between a sense of service and a desire for autonomy, that's what kind of life of fun encompasses. Now, if you can create that motto or that hook, kind of like life of fun, then it's really going to help you really have that sense of achievement. And as you go through big and small challenges, you can signal to yourself, yes, I'm doing it right. This is the life that we want as a family together. So after you define these values, I think the next kind of big important thing to talk through to find your parenting style is, what does this partnership really look like as a parent? Because you might have had a working partnership as a couple before kids, but after kids, the roles and responsibilities just like balloon. So you really want to make sure that you have a partner in your co-parent. What I mean by that is you have somebody that you can count on reliably for their roles and responsibilities within your domestic kind of situation. What I mean by a partner is somebody who you can count on to do the things that you've agreed on to make sure that the whole partnership can kind of keep running smoothly. This idea of each parent holding up their end of the bargain for just the day-to-day grunt work of parenting is super important, because without that, you just have resentment, you have things getting left undone. You don't have the ability to pursue the kind of loftier family life that you're looking for. So here's kind of how I think about it. Not being good at something is not a reason to not take ownership of it. We're all going to do things that we're not good at. I'm not a good cook. I can't load the dishwasher properly. I'm not good at repairing furniture. I'm not good at working with contractors that come to the house to fix whatever. Nobody is good at all of these things, and that's okay. As long as it gets done to some extent, that's the important part. And you have to kind of commit to getting better at whatever it is that you've agreed to take on. When you think about that division of labor as parents, please keep in mind that not being good at something is not a reason to not take it on. It is kind of part of the territory to level up and keep growing whatever skill set to get better at the things that we're not good at as parents. The other big part here is it's going to mean we're doing a lot of stuff that we don't like to do. One obvious thing is to outsource it. I don't like cleaning the bathroom, you outsource it, right? If you can't do that, we got to find a way to make it fun. So is that putting on a comedy special on like the speakers, or having a portable speaker so we can all clean together and like not have it be tedious? Or can you kind of open the windows and enjoy the fresh air and the like nice weather if that's applicable? Things like that can help make something that's otherwise tedious a little bit more fun, or a little bit more like, let's just kind of get through this together, is really going to help with that division of labor. Okay, so you've figured out your values and maybe your motto, and you've divided the responsibilities of kind of the household. The next thing is figuring out your priorities for your kids. Of course, we all want kids that are brilliant and good at sports and winning spelling bees, and maybe they go pro as whatever. Like, we all want that, right? But you really have to drill into those priorities once you know your kids. So for us, we've decided that the most important things for our kids is real world success and to be good travelers, because we want to be able to travel. What we mean by real world success is different because our kids are very different. So for one kid, she has classic kind of gifted kid genes, really, right? She's super smart, but that intellectual challenge, anytime she's challenged, it gets a little dicey, where if her own natural ability isn't there, the challenge to it becomes kind of a struggle. So for us, priority number one for that child in pursuit of real world success is helping her navigate some of this intellectual challenge piece. Or for our second kid, it's much more around navigating social skills. It's really helping her build social skills. Now that means for them, homework is less of a priority. I think school is super important. I think it is a big part of real world success. But if I have to make a trade-off, which is not that often, but if I am really forced, hey, is today going to be about really completing this homework, or is today going to be about making sure that I can push the intellectual challenge? I'm going to push the intellectual challenge. Or if the decision point is, hey, I really don't want to go to this stupid birthday party, but it's really important to help this kid navigate social situations, I'm gonna do what I gotta do to make myself able to handle that birthday party. So just things like that. Again, it's gonna help you prioritize, and it's gonna help you figure out what's worth the effort and what isn't. Because at the end of the day, which you're gonna realize really quickly when you divide all those roles and responsibilities, we can't do it all the time. There are gonna be great weeks where you're getting stuff done, and then the next week might be like, oh my God, I'm exhausted. So knowing your kids in the context of knowing your overall goals, knowing your roles and responsibilities within this partnership is going to really help you make those day-to-day decisions. That's going to help you preserve your own time, your own resources, and your own kind of energy, which is really important when you're a parent. We can't burn ourselves out on all ends. Like, nobody wins in that situation. Okay, so we've worked through the values. Maybe we've developed a motto. You've worked through your roles and responsibilities. You've figured out like really what's priority for your kid. That's when you're kind of mapping out your schedule. I think schedules, especially when your kids are young and even like high school age, like schedules is kind of like the end all be all for a lot of parenting life. In there, we've got to figure out what is flexible and what is untouchable. So for example, weeknight dinner time, untouchable, right? Like for us, because that's when we can talk through some of this time. That's when we can make sure that we're connecting as a family. That's when we can help make sure that one kid, we can hear about her social life. Other kid, we can hear, like, is she being intellectually challenged? We can have that kind of sense of autonomy over like, hey, we wanted to have dinner together. This was important for us. We're doing it. The schedule ends up becoming an important part of your family life and your parenting style to really make sure that all of these things that you're doing really click in like an implementation, right? Like things are getting cleaned, things are getting organized, people are getting to where they need to be on time. People are getting enough rest, we're getting enough social stimulation, we're getting our homework done, whatever it is. You want to make sure that at the end of the day, you've got the schedule that accounts for everything that you've got to do. The most important part of your parenting style, in my opinion, is acknowledging and celebrating when you're doing it. So for us, it'll be like an acknowledgement of like, we're doing it. This is fun. We're so stressed out at work because we have all this stuff to do. But in this moment, we're finding joy because we got to pop over and like literally smell the roses in a garden, or we got to go on a walk together, even though, this week is crazy with the kids like testing schedules and whatever else. So really acknowledging that you're living the life that you want to live, that you're working towards it, that you're building it, even when things are hard, is so important. So having some sort of signal to your partner of like, we're doing this, like if that's a fist bump, if it's a like just saying the motto out loud, if it's like a call and response thing, like those kinds of things in a parenting partnership are so important for remembering why you're doing what you're doing. And kind of the bonus piece here is when your kids are old enough, loop them into those values, loop them into the roles and responsibilities of the household, loop them into what they think their priorities should be, and loop them into acknowledging the wins. And if you can do all of that, I really think that you're going to be well on your way to being the kind of parent you want to be. Not 100% of the time maybe, but much more in the moment and loving kind of the day-to-day, maybe a little bit more. Hope this helps. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.